The president has allowed our troops to be withdrawn from Syria, and I'm really torn on this because these guys we were in bed with, they were corrupt from the beginning. When John McCain went over with Hillary Clinton, not Hillary Clinton, with Barack Obama's blessings to embrace these people, I ranted every night. These are not good people. We should not be over and inserting ourselves in with these people especially. This is not going to work out well. Now the president pulls people out and we have this mess on our hand, but I don't know how else to get out of there other than just to get out of there.
Well, people need to remember the beginning of the Syrian war, and for years and years it was Lindsey Graham and Hillary Clinton, both on the same side, both supporting Sunni extremists against Assad. Now, Assad is no angel, but most of the Christians in the country actually sided with Assad and had been a minority religion protected by Assad's government for decades. But the Sunni extremists that we supported, or our government supported, Hillary Clinton and Lindsey Graham, if those people had taken over, my fear is that their ideology would have been closer to the ISIS caliphate than it would have been to anything the West has known. But it's a very complicated situation. Turkey is misbehaving in the region, buying Russian missiles, etc. They are an authoritarian government and a NATO ally. By the NATO alliance, we're supposed to defend them against attack. Their current allies are somebody called the Free Syrian Army. That's who's doing a lot of these battles within Syria. It's a militia, but we were allied with the Free Syrian Army for 7 years. They're fighting against the Kurds. The Syrian Kurds, their political ideology is socialism. In fact, the Kurdish Workers' Party is socialist and terrorist within Turkey. Interestingly, the Iraqi Kurds, who have been our friends and have some autonomy in Iraq, don't like the Syrian Kurds and actually have an arrangement with Turkey where they've turned over Kurdish Worker Party terrorists back to Turkey. The Iraqi Kurds have a good relationship with Turkey currently. There's 1,800 Turkish businesses in Iraqi Kurdistan. That's the model we should be looking for. And I think the irony of this is, if you care about the Kurds, it actually may turn out that in the last 24 hours there is an alliance between Assad and the Kurds developing, and that maybe the Syrians can convince the Turks that they will control their country. There will be no Kurdish incursions into Turkey, but there need be no Turkish incursions into Syria. And maybe there could be a development of a semi-autonomous region. Assad needs allies. If he could get the Kurds to be allies and say, we are Syrian Kurds, we have a province up here, you leave us largely alone, kind of like a federal model like we have, maybe there could be some peace. What's been preventing peace for years now is the neocons have said, we have to topple Assad and we have to have regime change, and nobody would talk to Assad. In the end, I think Assad is there to stay, at least for a while, and needs to be part of any kind of peace plan.
But you would admit that this is really ugly right now.
It is, and I think it's also something we had no control over. So the Turks called up President Trump and said, we're coming one way or another, and President Trump looked at his generals and said, we have 50 people there. Would it be smart to leave 50 people in the wave of a Turkish invasion? The mainstream media is pointing it out, he gave them the green light and said, come on, we'll get out of the way. I don't think that's the way it developed. I think the way it developed is the Turks have been chomping at the bit for a year or two to come in and wipe out the people who they believe are their enemies, and some of whom probably are terrorists. They've been wanting to wipe them out. And I think the discussion was finally Erdogan says, we are coming one way or another. And then the president had to decide whether or not leaving 50 soldiers in the middle of a war was a good idea. The president also said from the very beginning that his goal was to defeat ISIS. ISIS is defeated. ISIS holds no territory. Is the ideology still there? Are there still some people? Sure, there always will be. But ISIS is defeated. That was our goal. Our goal was not to make Syria a country. Our goal was not to give the Syrian Kurds a country. Our goal was to defeat ISIS. And so I think we did accomplish that goal, and we shouldn't change the goal.